One Zambia, one nation. Hello and welcome to the news. To present, my name is Henry Himonde. The headlines: 5.5 million kwacha fuel service station launched in Chifunabuli. Construction of 2 clinics progresses in Siabonga. Non-governmental organization sinks boreholes in Nalolo. And Ukusefya Pangwena set for August 19th. And now the news in detail. The Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, has seized the Global Express T-7WW aircraft containing over 5.6 million United States dollars, 5 pistols, 7 magazines, 126 rounds of ammunition, and 602 pieces of suspected gold, among other items. Speaking during a press briefing in Lusaka, DEC Director General Nason Banda says the commission has also seized another aircraft belonging to a local airline. Mr. Banda added that the seizure was done following information that a chartered aircraft carrying dangerous goods had landed at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport on August 13, 2023 at 19 hours. He said acting on the information, DEC, together with officers from various law agencies, conducted an operation on August 14, 2023 at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport. He explains that 10 suspects, including a Zambian, have since been detained, awaiting further investigations.
The operation, ladies and gentlemen, resulted in a seizure of various items. Perhaps most important to mention is that this particular aircraft was searched by ourselves and other law enforcement officers. We also put in our dogs, as you know, we have K9 division here. They went on the aircraft to ensure that we know what was in there. And this is what we seized from the aircraft to start with. A total sum of 5,697,700 United States dollars. 5,697,700 United States dollars. On the same aircraft, we also seized 5 firearms, namely pistols. We also seized 7 magazines. Magazines are those items where you put in the rounds before loading onto a firearm. We also seized 126 rounds of ammunition. In addition to that, we also seized 602 pieces of suspected gold weighing 127.2 kgs. We also seized equipment that is used for measuring gold. I'm sure it's for verifying whether this is gold or it's not gold. They had that equipment on board. What is important to note here, ladies and gentlemen, is that as regards the suspected gold, we had the Ministry of Mines personnel with us, but they just did a presumptive test, so they will now get down to verify what kind of gold it is or if it's gold at all. As regards the money, we are certain that these are genuine dollars because the Bank of Zambia came in and they're the ones that counted. And right now, as we speak, just after we finished the verification of the quantities of the money, everything has been taken into the safe custody of the Bank of Zambia.
Vice President Mtalena Lumango has challenged youths in the country to get tested and know their HIV status. Mrs. Nalumango said 50% of new HIV infections are coming from young people and adolescents, hence the need for them to get tested. The Vice President said this when she officiated at the 2023 HIV Counseling, Testing and Treatment Day held under the theme, Young People Make a Difference and Get Tested. James Malumba now reports.
She was at the University of Zambia to officiate at the 2023 National HIV Counseling, Testing and Treatment Day. Vice President Mtalena Lumango officiated at the event, which is celebrated under the theme, Young People Make a Difference test for HIV. Ms. Nalumango challenged young people to get tested and know their status.
Knowledge is great empowerment. In fact, you will say that it is important to make every decision from a point of knowledge. And therefore, when we are talking HIV, knowledge is power. These population groups are most at risk to new infections in our country. Adolescents and young people account for 50% of the recorded new HIV infection. This entails that approximately 90,000 adolescents aged, you hear the age, aged from 10 to 19 years are living with HIV, and half of whom are on life-saving antiretroviral therapy.
Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo gave the significance of this launch.
This theme holds immense significance as it signifies our collective commitment to addressing the pressing challenges in Zambia's HIV response. As we gather here, our ministry's focus remains unwavering. Through our renewed decentralization agenda voices, we are amplifying the message and importance of HIV testing.
The honor, we have a junior council that we use to do a lot of sensitization in our communities, and this junior council, I know that is going to help with sensitizing all the youth, especially the ones that are so vulnerable with the HIV infection these days, aged between 15 and 13.
With support from the Ministry of Health and its partners, our institution has been providing various HIV services for young people through our university clinic.
Stakeholders commended government for this launch.
So the U.S. government has partnered with the government of the Republic of Zambia through the Ministry of Health and the National AIDS Council to coordinate the national HIV response since 2004, 20 years, to ensure health services and access to those services for all Zambians.
Zambia developing the 8th National Development Plan, Israel country again keeping HIV as a strategic area in the National Development Plan. I would like really to commend Zambia.
At the same event, the Vice President later launched the Global Alliance to End AIDS in Children by 2030. Jane Simalumba Zanis in Osaka.
President Hakainde Hichilema says government will continue leveraging private sector financing in order to improve access to energy services in rural areas. President Hichilema says as part of energy reforms, government will allow the private sector to drive infrastructure development in the petroleum sector. The head of state said this in a speech read on his behalf by Minister of Energy Peter Kapala during the launch of the 5.5 million kwacha first ever filling station in Chifunabuli district in Luapula province. Bupe Sendwe has more in the following report.
Service stations serve as an important economic function and remain a necessity in the economic development of the country. Recognizing the transformative power of accessibility to petroleum, Puma Energy has commissioned the first ever fuel service station in Chifunabuli district of Luapula province to enhance easy access to petroleum products in the area. President Hakainde Hichilema was represented by Minister of Energy Peter Kapala at the launch of the Puma Energy Chifunabuli Rural Service Station.
One of our key focus areas in the petroleum sector under the energy reforms is to allow private sector to drive infrastructure development, and the results are what we are witnessing here. My government will continue to leverage private sector financing in the energy sector in order to improve access to energy services in rural areas. A framework which will provide incentives for private sector such as yourselves to develop more of these modular service stations in rural areas.
And Puma Energy says the setting up of the station was made possible by the conducive environment created by President Hakainde Hichilema.
And I would like to take this opportunity to express our heartfelt gratitude to President Hakainde Hichilema and his government for creating an environment that encourages private sector growth and contributes to economic transformation. Our commitment to renewable energy is decisive and resolute. We are about to embark in a journey to offer and promote liquefied petroleum gas cylinder across Zambia.
Meanwhile, the locals are elated with the development.
In a twinkling of an eye, the district is just a baby, but we've received a service station of the different kind which has never been seen in Zambia.
We are happy of the opening of the new station, the new filling station, I can say, because the transport were high due to the distance of where the drivers
Investment of this kind is a prerequisite for the district to develop as it changes the economic status of the people. Popa Sendo for Zanis in Chifunabuli District, Luapula Province.
And in Northwestern Province, Victor Mwila reports that the 5 million Kwacha Land Development Fund project to connect strategic institutions to electricity in Ikelenyi district has advanced. Zengamina Power Limited, a private power utility in Ikelenyi, is executing the project. Details in the following report.
Born out of Ikelenyi district on the banks of the Zambezi River, Zengamina Power Limited has been providing electricity to the community in the border town for close to 16 years. The government has now contracted the local power utility under the Land Development Fund, LDF, to connect more schools and rural health facilities to electricity. This is in a project aimed at uplifting the living standards of the people in remote parts of the district.
We have an MOU with the council and the council with the ministry, and partnering with them has enabled us to spread much more quickly to connect these public institutions, but also many more customers in this community. Within days of receiving the funding, we were mobilized. We worked with all the communities who are within where the power is going, so they themselves have built these lines to then benefit from. And we've done that in record speed.
Lands and Natural Resources Minister Elijah Mchima, who is also Ikelenyi Member of Parliament, is happy with the progress of the project.
Zengamina is on course. It's been here. They were first under LDF with their decotation of over 5 million. They were paid initial money of 3 million, and they're remaining with a balance of 2.5, so that they can rectify this place. We have got Mweji border, we have got Kayuka border, and Jimbe. All these areas are key, very critical to us. We shall not leave it to squatters. We need to plan for them.
Phase 1 of the project, in which over 200 households are also expected to be connected to power, is scheduled to be complete by December 2023. Victor Mwila for Zanis in Ikelenyi, Northwestern Province.
Minister of Transport and Logistics Frank Tayali says negotiations to concession the Tanzania-Zambia Railway Authority TAZARA to improve efficiency have reached an advanced stage. Mr. Tayali says the technical committees to oversee the concession from both Zambia and Tanzania have been constituted and are currently preparing to hand over the company to a third-party concessionaire from China. Here are the details.
Marching in solidarity with unionized workers of TAZARA, Transport and Logistics Minister Frank Tayali is in Kaprimposhi to officiate at the 3rd Cruise and Allied Workers Union of Zambia elective conference. The minister has opened the conference where he has given an update on the concessioning of TAZARA to improve efficiency at the rail company.
This is a sector we cannot run away from. This is a sector we have to fix. Tazara has reached the negotiations for the concession, which the President spoke about, have indeed reached a very advanced stage. Technical committees were formed in Zambia as well as in Tanzania. Resolutions have been developed. We are preparing now to hand over to a third party from the Chinese government, that the three technical committees can come together to harmonize. Let me not preempt, but simply state that this is a matter that is very active on my desk.
Both Tazara workers' unions and management have commended government for addressing challenges at Tazara.
This workforce you are seeing, Honorable Minister, they are hard workers. So they all want to start seeing Tazara paying, making money to pay salaries for its workers. Not a continuation of begging for money, every time begging for money. That's why we ask for capacity. Give us the capacity. Then we'll be home and dry.
From the time the New Dawn government took over office, the government has been funding our salaries. When the Chambeshi Bridge collapsed in the mid-2021, the New Dawn government came to our aid and funded the repair works of the said bridge.
The Zambia Congress of Trade Unions has held the prevailing environment in the country for unions to bargain and operate.
You have created an environment for us to bargain, an environment for us to have freedoms, isn't it? Yes. Is that not so? Yes. I think to all our union, council, cadres, but I think are we saying that? No. You know, so you can see the environment that is there, isn't it?
Carlos Wunda, Zanis, Kapimposhi.
In Western Province, Kalabo Town Council has bemoaned the vandalizing of street lights installed to improve visibility and security at night. Council Public Relations Officer Benny Munyama says out of 37 solar-powered streetlights installed at the cost of 22,000 kwacha each, 12 have been vandalized and stolen. Details in the following report.
In an effort to help prevent night accidents and assist pedestrians and motorists to be aware of dangers such as hijacking and robbery among others, government has over the years spent colossal sums of money in installing streetlights in order to enhance visibility. In Kalabo district of Western Province, however, the solar-powered streetlights installed along the road and Kashitu Main Market in Mchatanga ward of the district at a total cost of 814,000 kwacha have been vandalized. Kalabo Town Council Public Relations Officer Ben Munyama has confirmed
that 12 recently erected solar-powered streetlights have been vandalized out of the 37 that were installed in Chatanga ward. So this has been done by unknown people, and it is very disturbing that despite government efforts to improve security in our area, unscrupulous people are going on to ensure that they vandalize these facilities.
Mchatanga Ward Councillor Francis Mungomba said it was disheartening to see how local people were destroying and stealing the solar panels erected on the streetlights.
The reason why those streetlights were put is that the road can be clear as they travel during night time. But now it's contrary, that people have...
Meanwhile, Juliet Chingi, a business owner at Kashitu Main Market, said the vandalizing of streetlights in the area were impacting negatively on the security of the market.
Me as a business owner, it's really a concern. One, it becomes a risk to the people who keep security to the shops around the market.
Tinembeo for Zanis News, Kalabo District, Western Province.
We now move to Luapula Province, where Chifunabuli Council Chairperson Charles Mlenga says the expanded Constituency Development Fund CDF has transformed the district's development landscape. Mr. Mlenga says through CDF, schools and health facilities have been constructed in all the 13 wards, among other projects being undertaken. Here are the details.
As the development facilitating mechanism, the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, has continued to be appreciated in various parts of the country as the fund is responding directly to the development demands of citizens. Chifunabuli is one of the districts experiencing steady development, and the town council chairperson highlights some of the projects undertaken so far.
I would say we are doing fine, especially with the increased CDF. We are constructing a good number of schools in our places, in our areas. We have 13 wards with 89 zones. So we are ensuring that in every zone there is a school. We have Nkulunga Health Post was commissioned. We have Nambale School, 1x3 classroom block was commissioned. Shikamushile was commissioned.
Constructed at a cost of about 545,000 kwacha, residents in Nkulunga area of Luo Ward have a health facility closer to them.
If you know mwananga na alwala pakuti ufume kuno kutali ajina 15 km pakuti wefike kule kulichipatala chakuchiye vatu tangata nomba epo ba president na batuletera kulichipatala so tuletotera mukwaye
nomba tuletotera sana hapo batu paramikira kulichipatala pano pantu nango omuntu walwala obushiku kuti kwaba okwenda fekalekali bamutangata.
One of the local women and youth club has already realized profits from a business financed under the CDF.
Twalefyo mfila ukutali, but finally na ifebe ne fasa chitashani fiafika kuno kulubwe. Ife ntepo twale mwena patali. Tuletotela sana pantu ifwe tatulanga twabomba tulasamku chitashani mku ifolesha hapo chila bantu, which means we are self-employed muri ine club batupela.
In order to exploit the economic opportunities in the area, people in the district are requesting for the completion of the Msaila-Lupososhi road that connects to Lusaka, Northern and the Copper Belt provinces. Wupeswendo for Zanis in Chifunabuli district, Luapula province.
To Central Province now, where government has completed the construction of a mother's shelter and a staff house at Nchimishi Rural Health Center at a cost of 200,000 kwacha in Mchinga constituency in Serenje district. Serenje District Council spokesperson Stivius Mulumba says the construction works were undertaken using the Constituency Development Fund in order to improve service delivery of healthcare services. Hupekile Nkunika has details in the following report.
This is Muchimishi Rural Health Center, which was established in 2014 in Serenje District. The health facility has a catchment population of over 10,000 people, with some covering a distance of over 40 kilometers to access it. This has been difficult, especially for expectant mothers. But government has constructed a mother's waiting shelter which will accommodate expectant mothers as they draw close to deliver. The construction of the mother's waiting shelter is enhancing the delivery of healthcare in the area.
We used to face many challenges. We have mothers that come as far as 40 kilometers from the facility. Yes, so you'd find that they used to have difficulties, like before if they go into labor, it used to be difficult for them to move that far, like from 40 kilometers away from this facility to come and access delivery services.
With the use of the 2022 Constituency Development Fund, government has also built a staff house at Muchimishi Rural Health Center.
And the time we received CDF, we are able to complete the health post, the staff house, and also the toilets. And we have also located about 310,000 kwacha for furnitures to equip the health post. And we are also expecting to procure this in the next 2 weeks.
Shupekile Nkunika for Zanis in Serenje District.
As we continue with the news, a non-governmental organization called Empowered Communities Helping Others, ECHO, in collaboration with Village Water, is constructing boreholes in Mukukutu and Muoyo wards in Nalolo district to enable communities have access to clean and safe water. A delegation from ECHO and Village Water UK visited the areas to check on the progress. Sifoe Mwangala has details in the following report.
Vision 2030 provides that by the year 2030, the country will attain 100% access to clean water supply and 90% sanitation coverage for all Zambian citizens. To supplement government's efforts in achieving these targets, a non-governmental organization, Empowering Communities, Helping Others, ECHO, in partnership with Village Water, is working with Nalolo and Mumba councils and other stakeholders in implementing wash master plans called district-wide plan. The district-wide plan for water sanitation and hygiene is anticipated to cover the period 2023-2030. ECHO board member Dr. Joel Kabika led a team from ECHO and Village Water UK to Mkukutu and Sianda areas of Nalolo district to check on the progress of drilling of boreholes and the impact of those already operating.
As ECHO, I think as an organization, is here to improve a number of things with the community that we work. We have, I think, 3 key areas. The improvement in terms of water provision, that's water and sanitation to the communities in the district areas that we work through. And then also the improvement of issues to do with climate change and also sustainability of livelihood in the community that we're working.
In Mkukutu, where a borehole is under construction, Village Water UK trustee Sarah Doherty joined the women in drawing water at a nearby well in order to appreciate the challenges they face.
Now I realise on a very, very small part what they have to do. So I'm all the more keen that I can go back and I can really redouble our efforts to make sure that we keep the donations coming in, we keep the work being done through ECHO, and we continue to make life a little bit better and safer and healthier for this community and people like these women.
The community is grateful for this development.
We are very grateful for this development that has come to our area. We never knew that we would have clean water in this village.
Last year, after they bring us a tap, we say thank you for them because that diseases and the distance that we was going and get fresh water there. So that's now finished it.
Sifue Mangala for Zanis News in Nalolo District, Western Province.
Eligible candidates for the 2023 professional licensure examinations have started turning up in numbers at the Zambia Health Professionals Council offices to submit applications. A check by Zanis found a number of candidates queuing up. Here's a report.
Eligible candidates for the 2023 professional licensure examinations have started turning up in numbers at the Health Professions Council of Zambia offices to submit their applications. The deadline for submitting applications is 18th of August 2023. The examinations are expected to be conducted from the 18th of September to the 6th of October 2023 in Lusaka, Livingstone and the Copperbelt provinces. This overwhelming response from the candidates has excited HPCZ management, but have advised them to move with time and not wait for the deadline to get closer for them to apply.
We want to urge new graduates, if there are some people out there trying to deal with that, I think we have the September exams coming, they should come through. Let them avoid last-minute efforts. I think last-minute are not very helpful to them and also to us as a regulator. We want to save them in the record time and ensuring that indeed all the record details are correct and we know who is going to write where in good time. So we appeal to them that indeed they need to ensure that they come in good time. We are not just in Lusaka, we are doing it in Livingstone, in Kasama, and also in Ndola. They can visit any of these stations and they can be attended to.
Some students talked to have described the application process as peaceful and have encouraged other candidates who have not yet submitted to do so.
So far so good. It's an easy process, like you can be done in a day. You just come, you do everything in less than 20 minutes, you'll be done. Yeah. I'll tell them to hurry up. They have, because we only have up to Friday. And so they should hurry up to come and apply for the exams because it's important because this is going to give you a license.
So I just got here like 30 minutes ago. So I'm seeing a lot of queues. I don't even know where to start from. So what I can say is, well guys, there's no time. I think 18th should be Friday or something. Yeah, so If you didn't index, first of all, make sure you index before you come to apply for your licentiate exams, because otherwise you start causing a fracas which will not really be good here. So yeah, so just need to first of all index and then come and apply for exams.
Jane Simalumba, Zanis in Lusaka.
Government has lifted the fish ban which was effected on Lake Tanganyika in Pulungu and Sama districts. Pulungu District Fisheries and Livestock Coordinator Mpundu Ngandwe has expressed happiness with levels of compliance by fishermen in the area. Mr. Ngandwe said the department effected the first ever fish ban on the lake, which lasted 3 months. He said during the period the department conducted sensitization programs and regular patrols on the lake to ensure fishermen adhered to the ban. Mr. Ngandwe further says the department has also continued to give licenses and encouraged fishermen to acquire the right fishing gears. And Mpulungu District Commissioner Jehad Sikazwe has commended fishermen in the area for adhering to the ban. Mr. Sikazwe said government through the Department of Fisheries wants to develop Mpulungu through improved fishing activities. And fishermen have expressed happiness that the fish ban has been lifted. The Ebo Musumali Foundation, AMF, an interest group advocating for inclusive climate change justice, has called on government to expedite the enactment of climate change bill. AMF chairperson Abel Musumali has observed that enacting the law on climate change will go a long way in promoting adaptive and mitigation measures. Speaking during a public forum in Lusaka today, Mr. Musumali says despite Zambia having a low contribution to greenhouse emissions causing climate change, it is one of the most hit countries from the effects of climate change. He explained that the continued changes in weather patterns have resulted in food insecurity and high malnutrition and poverty levels. And Trade Kings Group Manager, Public Relations and Corporate Affairs, Bridget Kambobe, says the company will continue to support initiatives aimed at addressing the effects of climate change through its corporate social responsibility programs. All is set for the Ukusefya Pangwena traditional ceremony of the Bemba people, which will be held on August 19th, 2023. Organizing Committee Secretary Richard Mkuka says as part of preparations, the committee has undertaken a street carnival to raise awareness. Details in the following report.
Kasama is becoming a hive of activities as preparations for the Ukusefya Pangwena traditional ceremony of the Bemba people reaches high gear. The organizing committee is leaving no stones unturned and has embarked on a street carnival to raise awareness of the ceremony, whose activity starts on Thursday 17th August and runs through to Saturday, the day of the ceremony.
Today we are doing a street carnival in Kasama so that we heighten up the hype and increase the public awareness of what is happening this week. It's just a few days we are getting into Ukusefya Pangwena ceremony. So we want the people of Kasama to know that this thing has finally come.
This year's ceremony will be historical as it is expected to be graced by the Litunga of the Lozi people, and this highlights the importance of cultural exchange for nation building.
We have about 73 ethnic groups. Now, in order to enhance intercultural dialogue, we need to have the different ethnic groups coming together. So we tried to charter a new territory this year and went into Baroserand. And the people of Baroserand are very happy that they are coming this side. So we are also very happy that we are receiving the people from Baroserand.
Lodges are prepared to host visitors coming for the ceremony.
We have actually prepared ourselves. Our rates will be actually normal, not above normal.
Kasama residents are excited and anxiously waiting for the ceremony.
This ceremony of Ukusefya Pangwena is very significant for residents of Kasama, especially those people dealing in business, because they get a lot of customers and they get a lot of money from the same. It is actually a very business venture.
This year's Ukusefya Pangwena ceremony is significant as the Mwinelu member marks 10 years since he ascended to the throne. Helen Bwalia for Zanis in Kasama, Northern Province.
On that note, we come to the end of the news, but before we go away, let's take another look at the top stories in our news. 5.5 million kwacha fuel service station launched in Chifunabuli. Construction of 2 clinics progresses in Siabonga. Non-governmental organization sinks boreholes in Nalolo. And Ukusefya Pangwena set for August 19th. Thank you so much for watching the news. That is all we had packaged for you on the news. On behalf of the entire news production crew, my name is Henry Himonde. Goodbye.